Hi, class. Now we are back to discuss about the real case of setting up a value proposition for a new business. As you can see here, now we have the Airbnb as a really good example. Whenever I go around for trips, I always like to make an appointment through Airbnb. I believe everybody knows about Airbnb. That's a website that can really make appointment or make a reservation for your. Well, it's not just limited to staying in a house. It's more like a home, away from your own home. So it's a place that's very much like a house, apartment, or any other places in the whole world when you go travel around. Well, I like to stay in Airbnb because I like to stay at home. That gives me a very safe and very convenient, lifestyle. And I really like to experience the real lifestyle whenever I go. So I make appointment and with those people, and even just besides that, for a accommodation. I also like to go through the Airbnb, so you can have these local people, whoever stay there for their whole life, and they will tour you around. That's also an outside link you can go through its website. So let's check it out and see how Airbnb is providing their services. Okay, as you can see here, if you want to find a place outside of anywhere that that you're used to, you need to key in with the date from when to when and how many guests and like what kind a house that you like to stay, whether it's a 3 bedroom or just 1 bedroom or a townhouse. And you can see how many bathrooms you may like. And I always have to make sure that they have a kitchen for me, particularly. So this is for people who wants to lease out their home, for temporary, or you can just lease it for over a month or a whole year on even. I did try that several times. So you can really make a from the short term all the way to long term, a reservation for the place. And you can even put in a deposit and even it's including the insurance. So whenever anything, damage happened to the house, it's insured. It's to protect the landlord, and also that after you move in for like first 24 hours, if you have any opinions about the place, you can file a complaint. Then they don't charge you at all, and they can give you a rearrangement for a new place, just within a couple of hours, so you don't have to worry about it. So this is a place that a website that actually provide us the best services for you to stay away from home, and it's a place that feels like home. And this is for from the landlord side. And so let's move on to and also here talking about this money. You don't really have to give them any money yet. They charge you with your credit card, but not until like 24 hours later you're satisfied with your new place, and it's just exactly the same place as they describe on the website, and you're totally okay with it, and then you press the confirm button, then they start transfer the money over to the landlord. Okay, so this is a place that actually protect everybody here, from the provider and the receiver. Okay, now here is, through this customer site, you need to tell them what they need. So what you have done is that from the Airbnb itself, Airbnb is also one of the customers of this for the platform. So it's publishing the ad for the landlord, and it's helping you to manage your reservation, and it's a lot easier for you to book. Okay, so when you go on the next part is that for both sides, whether you're a landlord or your tenants, you all have to speak up. So this website of the Airbnb to provide a platform so people can really tell people what they need and what they're providing. So it's very much like a platform that they hook up together, the providers and the receivers. So now when it's about, people like me, when I travel around, I like to tell the landlord what I want. And if they are, providing a place for me, they need to satisfy me with like 1 or 2 bedrooms, and I need 1 or 2 bathrooms, and I definitely want a kitchen. And it's not too far away. I need to have a bus station that's nearby in the walking distance. So I interact with the landlord. I ask questions and I get feedback from this website. So I speak up, at least. That's the first thing to do. And then you can get hands on it so easy through this Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or anywhere that you get a feedback, you get a review, and you can get hold of anybody. It's so easy. It's everywhere that you can even place. After you stay in a place, you can give them review credits and put on all those pictures that you stay there, to show them that you prove that you had a good time over there. So here's what I figure, when it's take me as an example. I have the questions about like, well, I need to know like when I go to Melbourne one time, and I like to know that where's the best location if I'm doing the business. I need to have the bus stop that's nearby. So I really don't know anybody there, and I have no ideas about the direction and distance. So they provide us, the map to show me the location of a particular place I'm going to stay over for like 2 weeks. So through his website, I get all the information that I want. And then it comes to my budget. I need to know how much it's going to cost. So I can plan ahead of time that there will be no other extra charge for me. Then, for me, the best feelings is like, oh, I feel so nervous and anxious that I couldn't find a place in a short time since my trip is coming up. And the difficulty is I don't know who can help me because I don't know anybody there. So this website is providing me all the information and all the comparison that I can have. And in checking out the places that I particularly like to stay, along with the price. And the risk so far, before I really pay for anything yet, before even I stay in and move in, the first 24 hours before I press the confirm button to say that I'm satisfied with everything, I won't be charged by then. So this is basically, fulfill all my needs. And I'm very satisfied about it. So far, I really hate to stay in a hotel because I got nothing at all. And this is a place that made me feel homey and cozy and very convenient. I even can get to, some of this landlords would meet me just to, show me around this place and what's the facilities around it. Some of these apartments even, have gym, and they would tell us, even get hold of you and tell you ahead of time that way you can eat out, what's the best restaurants around. They can even show you around. I one time met a really good landlord. They even let us borrow their car, and of course I place insurance on top of it. Okay, so this is definitely a website that solves all my problems, that really release my pains. And this is through the Airbnb. They help the landlord to publish ads, managing their reservation, and it's easier for people like me to book easily. And if there's anything happen like the house damage, that I would have to place, I also pay some down payment, so that's something to cover the insurance. And since the Airbnb itself is a company that collect, put all those temporary contract together for all houses, so it's easier for them to get insurance, at a better rate. So this is from the landlord side. And then again, it's telling me that from my side as a tenant, a temporary tenant, that I know that, well, I can interact with my, the landlord if I feel shy about it. And, well, if I want to get some feedback with some other previous tenants, then I can ask questions, stuff like that. And all I have to do is get online and put all my opinions on top of it. And so here's what I can expect. And, that makes my life a lot easier. So I give them my questions and I get all the answers that I want to help me to make my final decision where to stay and where to go, and even plan ahead with all my travel plan besides business I need to do. Okay, so for this landlord, you can see that, well, me, if I have a house around anywhere that I'm from, the same city, then when I'm out, to travel around the whole world, I may like to rent out my apartment so I can have some additional revenue. And this is for this, and I can even provide my local experience. If somebody stay in my place temporarily and I come back at the same time, then I'll show them around. I can just rent out one of my apartments or just one of the rooms I want. So what it basically is that through Airbnb, it's a third party. They provide us the trust and safety for both sides, both the landlord side and the tenant sides. Okay, so that you know all those opinions, and all this feedback from all other previous tenants, and you can interact with the landlords. So this is from the tenant side. And then from this landlord side, they list out all the products, all the house, all the apartments that they have. And so they provide their services and as well as the house. That's what we call the product. So it's very much that, hook up together with the receiver side and, the provider side. And then through the Airbnb, we get to know that's the community marketplace for unique space. It's very interesting stuff. You never know where you're going to stay. But for example, if you really got a chance to go to, like Egypt, they also provide some Airbnb. It's very local place, have very local culture design for the interior. So there's some place that you actually stay in the local people's house. So you get to experience what really local life is about. And then you don't have to pay anything really extra, like as much as a hotel, because hotel is very, luxury space, and you can even cook for your own. So that's the main reason I stay in Airbnb, because my stomach is very sensitive. I really need to stay in a place that I can cook my own food, even with those foreign materials and ingredients. At least I soothe my stomach the first night. Okay, so now here it goes that, for those temporary social media, this is APP stuff. You can go through, through my cellular phone. I get to know and hook up together with website all the time. And I remember once I went to Hawaii, and before I take off, a couple of days before, and I figured I just received a message from the landlord saying that there's something urgent happened. They need to fix their house, so they have to cancel my reservation. I got really freaked out. So I actually mailed Airbnb and tell them what happened. I got really mad about it because everything is set. And I love the place that I already reserved a rental car. But anyway, Airbnb, settle everything in just a couple hours. They refund all my money. At the same time, they give me a reimbursement for exactly the same amount of money. So I got triple, almost double my money back. Almost because they almost triple a little bit, because they actually pay me a little bit more just so to make me up for my inconvenience. So I get to another choice, like even send me a couple more other places that's nearby and anything that's within my price range. So I get my money back and even get a couple nights free. And I'm really grateful for what happened, and they solved my problem right away. I'm from my country. They call me directly from the United States. And it's an overseas call, and they arrange everything and get everything settled in just a couple hours. That's the best service I've ever seen. And they really care for their customers. And they just earn my loyalty anyway. Okay. So here's the pain reliever. Like I said, they provide me all the safety, trust, and convenience. So all that stuff that made me a very loyal customer. So I would definitely go back, and every time I introduce to people, that's the best website for you to stay anywhere you go. You can definitely get, and they're getting more and more, landlords from everywhere. So you can really choose, from the pictures that you saw, from the website, just so you know if it's exactly the same thing that you expect. So far, it's almost like that. And my money, I'm paying about like only 1/3 in comparing to staying in hotels. Okay, so this is it. This is very much, to match both sides, landlord and its tenants. So what happened, if you got the house burned down or anything damaged, what you pay with down pay at the beginning. So they will not return the money to you. For example, if I rent a room for like 300 a night, I actually pay another 300 just for ensure that I didn't get anything wrong. And so once they check out nothing wrong with the house after you move out, after you leave, they will return you the money. Okay, so basically this is what happened here. So we actually, solve all the problem. But you do remember that you do not give them the wrong product. So you did not release the pen, and instead, now we would like to know that this is a game creator. You do not just solve their problems, you also provide them again something that they receive to receive an extra satisfaction. That's what I usually feel. I'm always surprised for wherever I rent, wherever I stay for the Airbnb. So this basically comes out to like that. I have always extra surprised. Like most of these Airbnb landlords, they provide free lunch or even some free bread and cereal and milk and water and toilet paper. Even there's always something that's endless. They can always use it and free website, a free Wi-Fi that you can use in their house. So those are the stuff that you can always get satisfied, and those are the surprises that always satisfy me. Okay, so for basically, if you want to compete for the customers, you can always get all those choices that you have, and there are more and more choices coming up. You can just definitely try it out, see if you can get on, to that Airbnb. We can always come back and show you how to get onto it. So this is something you can always go back and discuss with your group. Try it out, see what you get exactly, whether from any other website so far is already out there, release your pen or create GANs for you. So this is something I like to introduce you, and you can use your canvas for your group discussion. It's supposed to look like this. Fill out from the right-hand side first, ask yourself, what's your biggest headache as a customer? And what is your pen that you need to be released? What is, the GAN that you're looking forward to? So that is something you need to put yourself in the customer's shoes and to imagine what kind of problem that they may have that need to be helped. Then you can come back to, as a businessman, see what kind of product or service they can provide just so you can help them to solve their problems. Okay? And then back and forth through your discussion, of course, among this, all those issues, talk to your team members and just challenge each other so you can design and redesign and do a little revision and then update to the final version for your canvas. Then you figure out that's the value exactly that what to help and how, through what kind of channel that can help your potential customers. I always want to introduce and also encourage my students saying that once your value is firm and very sure about it, all the potential customers will come to you without your promotion, without you chase after them all around, without even any little bit of pushing. So do remember, as long as you define your value right and very specific, those potential customers will come to you automatically. Okay, so these are the back and forth, discuss, revision, and update it. So toward to the end, this will be what it's supposed to look like. You list out all those customer jobs. Jobs means GANs or pens that you can imagine. Okay? So this is something that you need to go from the first step. And then based upon those GANs or pens that you can imagine, and then design your products and services. Do remember, do not lock yourself in the attic and start thinking about, what if they like this? Or what if they like that? That is something from your own imagination. That is not something that you base upon the real customer's pen or GAN. You do not just sit in there and have a daydreaming, say that, hey, this is a great idea, this is a great invention. So this is something, once I design some product out of it, the whole world will just welcome it. No, you need to walk into the real world and figure out what people really want. Okay, that's put yourself, onto the solid ground. And this is what happened. You find the pen relievers, you find the GAN creators, so you can help people with the real stuff. Okay, so this is it. Then you come up with the whole stuff. And then we basically, very much, even though we only introduce value propositions so far in the section here, but you actually, once you're very certain and well define your value propositions, all those customers will come to you automatically. Because all you have to do is just go around and spread out the information. That's what we call the channels. We'll come back to see the channels that once you fit each other's, like a pen relievers and like the GAN creators, then you actually would have The only thing left to do is just to promote, to spread our information through all these channels, like APP, like TV, like anything else, or even just by mouth. People will know what you're selling and they will come to you directly. Okay, so this is how we design our value propositions. I'm giving you some examples here. For example, well, iPhone and all those Apple series, you know, because it's new. So people, whoever is after all the new stuff, the new technology, new invention, they would always become the biggest fan of Apple. The next one is performance. If you're looking for performance of the product, you want something bigger, better, faster, or more effective. That is the product you can design for people who's looking at the performance. What about something that I want to be unique? So you can customize whatever they want, but you need to talk to those people to know what they want to show their personal style, charisma, or their taste in their design. So this is something you can also go after to figure out those people, to create their gains. Okay, what about if people are in pain because they want to get their job done? So you can become a cleaning mate to help people to clean their house because they hate to do stuff like that by themselves. Or you can cook for people. When I was a student and I went to United States, I was a catering. I went around to those rich people's house and I cooked for them a feast. For example, that they told me that there would be 4 people coming in tonight, and they would give me in order like 3 days prior, so I can go around. I just purchase all those groceries, and I went to their house and get prepared 3 days ahead. Like some of the dessert need to be prepared ahead of time. So those people, they want some Chinese cuisine, but they couldn't do it by themselves. So they very much signed a contract with me. So I remember it's about like 30 years ago when I was a student. I was a catering and I went around and helped people. So for 4 people, one feast, through probably 7 o'clock, I need to start in preparing, the early morning, that same day. And they're having dinner that night. And it took me that whole day just to prepare. It's about like a 7 dish course. And then they pay me like $500. It's quite a lot of money because back then it's like $500, and it's enough to pay for a month rent, a monthly rent for my own apartment. Okay, anyway, so I get their job done for those people who hate cooking. Okay, this is something. And then maybe next one is that you design style for the look, for the feel, or for the color. It's very special, it's very unique, and nobody else is having it. Or it's for the price. For the new customer, that's something that you don't have to pay as much, but you get exactly same stuff. So that would be something you can get yourself competitive. Or this is just a metaphor. You can make people feel safer with your product. Or for example, we do have a service provider that they provide a service that help the parents to take their babies or their kids to school, and they just come pick them up, and then get them a ride home. So this is a risk reduction because both parents are very nervous, and they didn't have time to give their kids a ride, so they hire somebody, a taxi driver maybe, or maybe live the same community, even that they would prepare dinner for their kids once they gave them a ride home. So this is a risk reduction. Make people feel very safe and guarantee that you can fix the problem. And next one is status. That's something that people would probably like to pay money for, is that something that shows their social status. Even make me like do something. For example, I don't remember, people would like to pay money to have their notebook design. It's a very a cow-high letter cover for their notebook. That is something to show that their taste, to show that they're a scholar or a CEO, just with their name even, imprint on it. So this is something that make themselves, look more powerful, important, or cool even. So besides all that stuff, anything else, any other features that you think of to create value, do remember this is the value not for your company. We call that business value proposition, but the value proposition is not for the company itself. That is based upon the customer's pain reliever or gain creator. So that is the value that you create to solve the problem of the customers to remember. So the value is something that customers care for. I have to re-emphasize again and again because most of my students always make the first mistake is that they thought it's the business value. Business value is nothing else but making money. So this is the value proposition that you set up for the customers, not for the company. To remember, once you set it right, you're helping people to release their pain, you're helping people to solve their problems, to satisfy them with more gains. That is the right value proposition. So you can think about what else. Okay, this is our first lecture about value proposition and also, well, the soul of the whole business model. So you can think about what are the value propositions that could it be to set up your business model. Okay, then you can describe the value proposition for the products as much and as detailed as possible to remember. And then we can come back and discuss it later on. This is also the assignment that you need to discuss. So you can send it back to me throughout your feedback. Discuss with me anytime you want. Stop by my office for the office hours. Okay, I'll talk to you until next time.